all companies will need to have a position that requires some level of user experience design.
We went to the Computer Information Systems Advisory Committee, talked to them about what are the needs in this area, what are the things that you're looking for when you're hiring somebody, what are those skills, what are those things that you want somebody to be able to do. What happens is that the students benefit from that collaboration because then they're being prepared kind of specifically for what the industry is looking for.
98.7 Chatt Tech, where 98.7% of our students earn a career. On today's episode, we're going to look at the User Experience Design and Development Program. This is where you'll learn to create websites, software, and other products so that people can use them easily and enjoyably. You'll learn about user experience designs that span multiple devices, including PCs, phones, and tablets. What kind of jobs can you get after finishing this program? Well, UX design careers include product research, creating user personas and scenarios, website prototyping, product testing, and more. There is a lot you can do with this program. So let's jump in.
I'm Tanya Mosley, and I'm an instructor in the Computer Information Systems and Technology programs at Chatt Tech. So user design and experience is all about creating an interface of a product or a service that the user will absolutely fall in love with and always want to handle that product or use that service. When you think about the apps we use, right? Things like our banking apps or things like our map apps, even apps like Robinhood that a lot of people use for investing, or the social media apps, they're all utilized because of their ease of use on the user end. And that's what you're doing in this program. You're designing these products or these apps so that the user is delighted and always wanting more. If it's difficult to use, if it doesn't make sense in the way they have to navigate, they will not use that app anymore. They'll find another app that is more appealing to them aesthetically and logically.
Yeah, UX design and apps go hand in hand. Think about all of the apps you've used today. Someone somewhere had to design those.
So this is what user experience design is all about, making sure that we get the information. What is it that users need in an app or service or a product? Because it can even be a microwave, right? If you're using a microwave, what are the things you usually use the microwave for? So I want to get all that information from the user and then use it to build the interface, which will be the buttons that the person presses on the microwave to do whatever it is that they do on a daily basis, whether it is baking a potato or just using it to pop popcorn or heat up some food or something like that. So that's all user experience is primarily about.
Wait a minute. Did she just say that UX design is for designing more than just apps?
I'm Crystal Blaylock, the Associate Dean of Business Management and Computers at Chattahoochee Tech. UX design is not just focused on apps, it's any type of technological device that the user is using. What makes their experience pleasant and makes them want to come back for more?
She said it too. But we've got a song about apps. Can we still play the song about apps? Go ahead and roll the song about apps.
iPhone apps that you can't download, or put them on your Android phone. Most of them more time you want to waste with a phone up in your face, you get bored with the same old stuff. Come on now, life ain't rough. Chattahoochee Tech has got your back, so tap that app.
Yeah, you're right. We should have skipped the song. All right, let's get back on track.
So my name is Blake Grant. Currently, I am enrolled in the new user experience programs and kind of just excited to, one, attain the degree, and then two, have a focus, within what I want to kind of do for the rest of my career, which is, again, this new user experience design or developing role. I have experience, but I don't have the degree, and that's kind of one of the things that is preventing me from going to a next step within my developmental career. So that, like I said, was really huge kind of push for me to enroll back into Chattahoochee Tech. So now I can kind of obtain my degree so that, I'm not running into these blockers anymore where I have X amount of experience, but I don't have the degree. And so I get disqualified.
The program came to be from discussion between the instructors and administration about the opportunity for students that don't want to focus on coding, but still want to be involved in the product interface part of it.
I'm Marcy Smith. I'm the Dean of Business and Technical Studies. We have advisory committees that are comprised of industry representatives who would hire our graduates in any area. And so that was a thing with the user experience design and development program. We went to the computer information systems advisory committee, talked to them about what are the needs in this area, what are the things that you're looking for when you're hiring somebody to design an application, whether it's an app or a website or whatever. What are those skills? What are those things that you want somebody to be able to do in order to hire them? And so our connection for what happens is that the students benefit from that collaboration, because then they're being prepared kind of specifically for what the industry is looking for.
Did you hear that? Chatt Tech went to the companies that will be hiring you and asked, hey, what should we be teaching our students? And those are the skills you'll be learning in the User Experience Design and Development program. You'll be studying exactly what you need to know to go get a job and to be successful.
Our goal is to get you a job and to help you learn those skills and help you make those connections that you will need to move forward in your life and attain the goals that you've set for yourself. And our focus is employment and preparation for employment.
First of all, the pay is fantastic. We provide them with the diploma, but we encourage them to move forward and earn their associate's degree with Chattahoochee Tech and then continue on with their higher education goals and aspirations. At the same time, if they graduate Chattahoochee Tech with their associate's degree, they can earn a very, very good living. I looked on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I looked on Indeed, and right now there's a myriad of different industries that are hiring for individuals in the role of web designers, web developers, digital designers, interactive designers. And these are industries across the board, as Marcy mentioned: healthcare, finance, retail, higher education, broadcasting companies, especially locally here in Georgia, automotive companies, government agencies, and also students have the option of working for themselves and being a freelancer as a self-employed individual. So that could be extremely lucrative, where they can work for multiple industries at the same time and contract themselves out. And the starting salaries can go anywhere from $45,000 up to six figures. So it's a very lucrative field.
According to the last research I did, it seems like an entry-level position can start at about $65K, and depending on your experience, it could go well into six figures. Of course, that's after you've worked at a company and proven yourself to be someone with vast experience and knowledge. But the way to start is taking advantage of the internship course that we have built in the program in the last semester so that you can get your foot in the door. And some of these jobs will be posted as well as part-time opportunities or internship opportunities. So with that given, you can use that to break into the industry or break into a role in a company and then work your way up to becoming a more seasoned UX designer.
There's definitely money to be made after you finish, but what kind of people will be successful in the User Experience Design and Development program?
Students that will be successful in the UX design program will be students that are very good at assessing people's needs and putting that information they've gathered from their research into practice. So they're going to be very good listeners. They're also going to be very organized. They're going to know a lot about color schemes, layouts. They're also going to be good at probably graphics and animation. They're going to also be willing to learn as time goes by, they're going to need to keep up with the trends in the industry and keep retooling themselves with that information, because it will always change. But one thing that will be constant is you have to know how to get the information from your user about how they want to use that product. So very good research skills will come into play.
I think a student who would be particularly successful in this program not only has that creative sort of artistic eye, but also is a good problem solver. That's one of the things where it really in a lot of areas, but particularly this, a good problem solver and a good listener and communicator, because in reality, this is a way of visually communicating information. And so what these students are going to be responsible for when they become employees in the industry is, you tell me this is what you want your application to look like, this is what you want the experience to be like for your users, and so then I'm going to design that for you. So I have to have that creative design piece. I also have to be able to solve problems, and I have to be a good visual communicator.
If a student came to me and they said they've been successful in these type of courses before, or they've had certain type of job where they've worked in IT, but they don't want to just work on the machines, they want to work on making sure the platform is appealing to customers. Because as a customer, they've gone to platforms and they said, well, this is not good. I don't like this. I know I could change this. I could do it better. So if a student said that to me, I would definitely say, you can absolutely do that better. UX design is a program for you. We will teach you. We will give you the skills necessary for you to be successful in your career in UX design.
Does this sound like you? Do you like art and being creative and using technology?
When it comes to art, people that have a very good eye for how images go with certain colors will do well. So if you're a student who's comfortable using Adobe Creative Cloud, which is a software that has a lot of different tools that you can use for designing, then this is going to be very easy for you. If you're a student who's used Illustrator before, that's also going to be something that you will enjoy, or any image editing tool. If you're comfortable with that, this will be the program for you, because you're learning how to manipulate images. You're learning how to use color schemes, different color palettes, and things like that to bring the screen to life or the user interface to life. Also, students that love designing, if you can design something out of information that someone's given you about how they would like to see something presented, then this is something that you could also find very appealing to you. And you don't have to be necessarily a great artist as far as sketching goes, but you do need to have a very good eye for putting together graphics, colors, text, and all of that.
What do you think? You know what? Before you answer that, let's talk to a student and get some real insight on what this program is actually like.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the process of one of the labs right now. It's a group project, but it's more about the process of how you would build out your wireframe and you would create your user persona or profile. So we're just using a model that has been taught to us with this semester on the initial phases of building out a product. There were two other schools that I were kind of considering, but both of those schools were 100% online. So the one factor that separated Chatt Tech from those other platforms or schools was the fact that there were local campuses that if I did have a problem, I would have the ability to, go to a campus and kind of get some assistance with whatever my problem was.
That's a nice benefit.
But specifically within the UX program, so this being the first semester, I'm taking, basically the intro class to UX design and development. And within that particular class, it seems to be that we're just kind of covering the best practices of UX. We have been introduced to various models on how to conceptualize or map out and experience for whatever products you're trying to develop. So that's been really, really interesting.
With the classes that they'll start with, the user design experience classes, and then transition on to other classes like their graphics and animation classes, they'll be learning all the things they have to do before getting involved in the project course. Project course will be one of the courses they take in probably their second year towards their end of the last semester. And in the project course, they'll showcase what they learn about color schemes and animation and using layouts and so forth. They'll also have to use their research skills in the project course. But in each course, at the end of the course, they'll have like mini projects. So we're having them use what they're learning right away after they've learned that information in the course. And then in the project course, they're going to put all of that into one big project to do a higher level design of a product or a service.
One of the things that's so compelling about our college is that our instructors across the board have been in the industry. So they also kind of have that knowledge of what it means to be successful, and they bring that knowledge into the classroom. And I think students, that resonates with students, that, I can also, almost like they're role models in addition to instructors. I've known you can do it in the industry, and I think I can too. I just can't say enough about our faculty and how fantastic they are. Not only do they have industry experience, but they're very good at creating that environment where learning can take place.
Tanya Mosley is spearheading that program as the instructor, and she has a wealth of professional experience that makes her more than qualified to teach this course. In addition to that, her teaching style is very interactive, and she has a good relationship with her students to make sure that they have a grasp of the concepts for UX design. Her instruction style is very hands-on and thought-provoking. And I actually had a class observation with her this morning, ironically. And she really takes the time to make sure the students understand. And she walks around and gives them activities to do on the computer and constantly asks them, do you understand? Because we need to move on to the next session. And she doesn't move on until everyone is clear and concise with what the work is.
So let's recap. We've heard about the school, the details of the program, the instructor, and the jobs you can get after you finish. But let's ask one more thing. Will these skills last? Will these skills be needed in the future?
I don't see this as being a trend that will, fizzle or anything like that, because again, this is what we're doing. We're all digital with everything we do in our lives right now. The Internet of Things has blown up and everything is digital. So this is going to be something that continues, in my opinion, that continues as long as there's technology around, because you always have a need to reassess what it is you have as a product or a service and find out if this is actually driving people to use your product or service, or if it needs to be revamped. Like I was reading some article the other day that Apple had kind of switched some stuff around on their website, and only a few people noticed it. But it was really because it was difficult to get to their app store without jumping through a lot of hoops. When you got to their website, now is right there where you can actually just go to the app store from their homepage. So when you think about things like that, a company like Apple thinking, how is this going to improve our sales? How is this going to be better for our customers? That's all with the user designer being in that planning process or in that discussion, because they have to find out what is it the person really needs when they come and use this product or service. And then they have to take that information and make sure that it's reflected on their website or the app or whatever it is the person uses.
Are you a good fit for the User Experience Design and Development program at Chatt Tech? Get online and learn more at chattahoocheetech.edu.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. Darren Sutherland, Executive Producer. Jeremy Powell, Creative Director. Jacob Sutherland, Director. Producers Jason Gentarola and Matt Golden. And Kezia May, Copywriter. All rights reserved.